the taste in a whey protein will be much better. It's just a simple fact. You just can't debate anyone on that. Alright, what's up you guys, you're watching Zealocity and आज की वीडियो में we're going to be talking about whey protein versus plant protein. A lot of people actually ask me this question that should I consume a whey protein, should I consume a plant protein? And a lot of people also have this misconception in the mind that if you are into bodybuilding only, then you should consume a whey protein or else you should go for a plant protein. Let me clear all those myths for you and one by one let's go on what whey protein is. First, let's understand that. So whey protein is nothing but milk protein. Okay, milk has two types of proteins. One is whey protein, the other one is casein protein. Whey is fast absorbing, casein is slow absorbing. Now whey protein is basically extracted in a form that it is filtrated and all the lactose is removed. Almost 90-95% of the lactose is removed, and that form is called whey protein concentrate. That's the first stage of filtration process that happens. After the second stage of filtration, whey protein becomes whey protein isolate, and in that form the lactose content is almost 99% removed, and fat is also almost 90 to 99% removed out of the whey protein concentrate and isolate both. Now whey protein concentrate is slightly harder to digest for people who have a little bit of lactose sensitivity or lactose intolerance, and for whey protein isolate there is very less lactose, almost 99% lactose is gone, and that's why it's slightly easier to digest for people who have lactose sensitivity. But still there are some people who are extremely lactose sensitive and extremely lactose intolerant, and in that case plant protein becomes a better option. But let's discuss the normal situation. If you are okay with milk digestion, if you have no problem with lactose whatsoever, then you can absolutely consume whey protein concentrate or isolate as well. Now let's talk about taste. Usually whey protein concentrates come with a better taste. Isolates have slightly poor taste when you actually compare it with whey protein isolate, because in whey protein isolate the lactose is there, right? So the lactose is basically just the milk sugar, so it adds a little bit to the flavor and the texture of the milkiness and creaminess to a whey protein. So if you are taking a whey protein concentrate or a whey protein concentrate isolate mix that usually comes pre-packaged in a box, so most protein brands sell either concentrate or concentrate isolate mix, okay, and unless it specifically says 100% whey protein isolate. Alright, so talking about that, in the taste factor, concentrate is tastier than whey protein isolate. Now let's talk about the protein content per 100 grams. Usually whey protein concentrates should also have at least more than 70 to 75% of protein per scoop. Like let's say if you're taking a scoop size of 30 grams, then your protein content should at least be more than 21 to 22 grams of protein, right? So that's roughly more than 70%. If you're taking any protein which has less than 70% protein content per 100 grams, then it's a trash protein. Never buy that, okay? I'm giving you this simple one funda. It should at least be 75% or 80% ke upar is best, okay? So for example, if you're taking a scoop of 30 grams and if the protein content is about 24 grams or more in the 30 grams, then it's a really good protein to include. Alright, now talking about the protein content in whey protein isolate. In whey protein isolate, the protein content comes even higher, so it will be somewhere around 85 to 90% per scoop. The best whey protein isolates are those which offer more than 85% or more than at least 80% of protein per scoop. Alright, so that would roughly be somewhere around, in a 30 gram scoop, it should at least be 25 grams of protein. That's the fact. In terms of calories, one scoop of whey protein, somewhere around 30 grams का scoop, जिसमें आपको मिलता है 24 grams of protein, 24 or 25 grams of protein, that should be somewhere around 120 to 140 calories, and that's roughly the number. It varies a little bit due to the carbs and fats and the fillers that they add, the flavorings, etc., etc. So that's pretty much all right. When you talk about plant proteins, they're usually a combination of 2 to 3 different types of plant proteins. It could be a lentil protein, it could be a pea protein, it could be chickpea protein, it could be soy protein, it could be brown rice protein, and it could also be hemp protein. Now mostly brown rice protein and pea protein combined together gives the best of the amino acid profile. Now what I mean about amino acid profile is how much essential amino acids that it contains in the serving size, okay? For example, like let's say we're talking about essential amino acids like leucine, essential amino acids like methionine, and your branched chain amino acids like leucine, isoleucine, valine, etc., etc. So all these essential amino acids need to be in a good quantity. That's when we say that the amino acid profile is up to the mark. In terms of whey protein, the amino acid profile is slightly better than when you compare it with plant proteins. Specifically, soy protein lags behind in terms of the leucine and methionine. That is why soy proteins are also not very digestion friendly for a lot of people. That's why brown rice protein and pea protein becomes the best option in terms of plant protein. Now, plant proteins are also extracted in a similar manner. It's isolated. So basically protein from brown rice is isolated and it becomes brown rice protein isolate. And similarly, pea protein is also isolated and it becomes pea protein isolate. So the carbohydrates are removed because generally rice and lentils and peas are higher in carbohydrates than they are in protein. That is why they have to be extracted, and the protein is extracted, the carbohydrate is filtrated, and then you are left with just protein isolate options. If you take any plant protein, usually the taste takes a bad hit. If I compare any plant protein brand with a decent whey protein brand, the taste in a whey protein will be much better. It's just simple fact. You just can't debate anyone on that. Okay, so plant proteins usually taste bad. Even the best of the best plant proteins taste bad. But I will give you some recommendations after this discussion. In a few minutes, I will be talking about the brands that I personally like, not sponsored. So plant proteins usually offer a similar calorie and protein profile, just as I mentioned. In a 30 to 35 gram serving size, it will give you at least 70% if it's a good brand. I will talk about the brands again, as I mentioned. So 70% should be the minimum dose of protein that you should be getting in a serving size, in 100 grams, whatever the serving size is. When you talk about leucine content, leucine is actually an amino acid which is extremely essential for your muscle protein synthesis. Okay, now when you talk about leucine content, the leucine content in whey proteins is slightly higher, somewhere around 10 to 11% in 100 grams. When you compare it with plant proteins usually contain a leucine content of somewhere around 7 to 8%, maximum 8%, and that's in 100 grams. Okay, so when you talk about leucine content, it matters a lot. But still, if you are a vegan or if you cannot digest milk at all, then whey protein ke jagah pe plant protein becomes an absolutely perfect option. Okay, so plant proteins are just as good. Despite the differences between the leucine content, it's still good protein source which absorbs really well. So you can absolutely go for plant proteins as well. Now, talking about digestion process for both, whey protein is slightly harder to digest, especially the concentrated, as I mentioned, if you have lactose sensitivity. But even for people who have extreme bloating issues and extreme issues with fiber, like usually this happens that when some people have Crohn's disease or IBS, then at that time plant protein can also be a little bit troubling. But for most people with lactose sensitivity or lactose intolerance, plant protein becomes an extremely efficient choice and one of the best choices. Okay, so in terms of overall absorption, both of them are absolutely nice. You can absolutely include either whey protein or a plant protein in your routine, and there is no such thing as if you're into bodybuilding, then only you should take a whey protein, or if you're into normal sedentary life, then you can take plant protein only, you should not take whey protein. It's all absolute stupidity. Okay, protein is protein. You take it from whey protein, you take it plant protein, you take it from eggs, or you take it from chicken. It's pretty much the same. Okay, protein is protein. Now amino acids obviously will differ, but still overall protein intake, overall protein content matters more than the amino acid profile, as long as the amino acid profile is not that trash. When you talk about just protein from rice, that would still be a lacking, right? And nobody's just going to eat rice the entire day for protein. So obviously I'm not going to talk about those extreme insanity cases, but still, like if you talk about general life and general overall nutrition, you will get a decent amount of amino acid profile from your other foods as well. So you don't have to worry about that. Now coming on to the brands that I personally like. Now in whey proteins, I've actually made a made a detailed video. You can watch it here on the best whey proteins in India. It's depending on the taste and the quality and the budget, etc., etc. You should actually watch the video for more insight. And when you talk about plant proteins, there are a few videos that I've made on my channel about plant proteins. I've personally tried Plix plant protein. It's good. I've personally tried Wellbeing Nutrition. I think that's one of the best tasting plant proteins in the market right now. And although they have not sent me any package, which I am looking forward to, Wellbeing Nutrition, hello. I like the brand. I like the protein. I like the product, and it tastes really good. The dark chocolate hazelnut flavor, something like that, something of that sort. I can just add the photo here. So you can actually check that out. And it's completely not sponsored. Even the video that I'm talking about whey proteins is not sponsored. Okay, you should please check it out. From an honest opinion, from what I have been doing from the past 6 years, the amount of products that I've used in terms of whey protein and plant protein, I've actually tried a lot of products from the past 6 years. So you should definitely take my advice as a suggestion, not as a blanket statement and as a must do, but it is definitely helpful to consider, right? Alright, so that's it for the end of the video. I hope you actually liked this video, and if you did, you know what to do. Share this video, man. Come on, please share my channel, share my videos with as many people as you can. I would be really, really grateful for you. And badle mein main kya karunga pata hai? In turn, I will consider your comments. So if you comment down below, if you have any suggestions for my future videos, you can absolutely comment down below, and I will absolutely take that into consideration. Alright, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more interesting content. And wait, so this is my Instagram. You can check out my Instagram, and if you want to take my video consultations, or if you want to join my 90-day transformation program, which is the transformation program for healthy fat loss and for sustainable nutrition, then you can actually check out my Instagram, or you can even head over to my website zealocityfitness.com. The link is in the description below. You can actually head over to the website. There is 10% off going on the website. अगर आप website से जाते हो, you will find the contact options, and you can contact me, and we will offer a 10% discount on our transformation programs. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more interesting content. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And I will see you in the next video. See you.